During a news conference that took place back in 2016, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu surprised everyone by revealing something unexpected. He made a casual reference to President Putin's focus on the development of domestic air and missile defense systems, making specific reference to the S-350, S-500, and the hitherto unheard of S-550 for the military. In this video, we will talk about Russia's Star Wars weapon, S-550 satellite killer. So before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel. In military circles, the S-350 and S-500 medium-range missiles had already established a reputation for themselves. On the other hand, the S-550 was a brand new participant and a system that was only alluded to during the presentation. Recently, many Russian news channels have begun to spread rumors that the S-550 defense system is already in the process of being designed and manufactured. Despite a number of setbacks, the Russian military began deploying the S-500 Prometheus air defense system as early as 2020. At first, industry professionals speculated that the S-550 could be an offshoot of the S-500 with a shorter range, comparable to how the S-350 is an intermediate range missile that complements the S-300 and S-400 systems with their larger ranges. The Russian state news agency TASS has been reflecting on the S-550 Mobile Anti-Missile Defense System, ABM, that was built between 1981 and 1988, but was never put into active duty. However, Sergei Chemezov later explained the situation at the Dubai Air Show, where he stated that the S-550 is designed to detect and intercept ballistic missiles at a greater range than the S-500, and that the physical components for the system have already been built. He also stated that the S-500 will continue to be in service for the foreseeable future. There is a general agreement that the S-550 will be a mobile system with a primary focus on strategic defense at this point. It is anticipated that it will provide protection against intercontinental ballistic missiles, also known as ICBMs, which travel at speeds up to 20 times faster than the speed of sound before releasing their nuclear payloads into the atmosphere. Insiders in the Russian government have been dropping hints about the existence of a space attack, or space defense function, which might include activities such as the interception of low Earth orbit spacecraft like the X-37B used by the United States military. This is in addition to kinetic countermeasures against satellites. Contrary to the S-500, there are no plans for a naval variant of this weapon. The 77N6N series missile is utilized by the S-500, which has garnered praise for its already impressive capabilities in the realm of sophisticated ballistic missile defense, BMD. The intelligence gathered by the United States suggests that this missile is capable of defeating medium-range ballistic missiles, in addition to some intercontinental ballistic missiles. In a recent interview with TASS, military analyst Dmitry Litovkin expressed his conviction that the Prometheus system will be improved with the addition of this technology. It has already been established that this particular technology is capable of neutralizing both low-orbit satellites and ballistic nuclear warheads. However, it appears that the military has chosen to spread these functions between two different systems. This choice highlights the fact that adaptability is not necessarily an asset in a combat system, because it demonstrates that the military has recognized this truth. RIA Novosti was informed by a source that did not wish to be identified that the S-550 is a derivative of the S-500 air defense system, and that it specializes in anti-missile and space defense activities. These claims are by no means conclusive, but they do provide some support for the hypothesis that the S-550 could be an improved, standalone version of the anti-missile defense capacity of the S-500. It is not clear if this indicates that the standard S-500 will be less adept at anti-missile defense than was previously anticipated, or whether the S-550 would exceed expectations in its efficacy against ICBMs. The S-550 is the first road mobile device that can safely neutralize intercontinental ballistic missiles, according to sources cited by RIA Novosti. They also claim that it is superior to the THAAD and Aegis systems used by the United States, which use SM-3 block-hull missiles. In spite of the fact that both U.S. systems are mobile and intended to defend against missiles with short to medium ranges, they do have some anti-intercontinental ballistic missile capabilities. This is especially relevant to the SM-3 Block IA, which supposedly has the capability of reaching an altitude of up to 1,460 miles and successfully intercepted an intercontinental ballistic missile during a test in November of 2020. It is interesting to note that the officials from RIA did not mention the silo-based ground-based mid-course defense (GMD) system designed to intercept intercontinental ballistic missiles in the middle of their flight. It is most likely that the S-550 was designed with the intention of filling the void left by the SM-3 Block U and the GMD. It may be able to deliver respectable ICBM capabilities, but its range will be significantly reduced. The development of Russia's anti-missile system. Imagine a defensive system that is able to fire missiles flying at speeds that are 17 times faster than the speed of sound. This is the situation with Russia's existing A-135 Amber defense system, which is based on underground silos. It is primarily tasked with protecting Moscow and the industrial districts that are located in its surrounding vicinity. It is equipped with 53 T-6 anti-missile missiles and a 10-kiloton nuclear bomb. The ABM Treaty of 1972, which allowed just 2 ABM sites for Russia and the United States, one for the capital and another for ITBM silos, influenced this strategic decision by limiting the number of possible options. A quick jump forward in time brings us to the year 2002, when the United States withdrew from the ABM Treaty and began the initial stages of developing the GMD missile defense system. This system, which is now based in Alaska, is responsible for providing the continental United States with national defense. However, it is only able to operate with an inventory of slightly more than 40 interceptors out of a total of 60. You might be wondering why there are only a few ABMs available. To persuade Russia and China that the GMD was not intended to weaken their nuclear deterrence capabilities, it was a strategic decision to reassure them that the GMD was not designed to do so. Instead, it was designed to defend against dangers posed by less powerful but potentially nuclear-capable actors, such as Iran and North Korea. In spite of this comfort, Beijing and Moscow saw things differently, and as a result, they invested billions of dollars in the research and development of powerful nuclear weapons to combat the GMD. It is essential to keep in mind that even a modest ICBM defense has the capacity to foil a nuclear strike of a more limited scope launched by a major state. An attack of this kind could have been planned to either accomplish specific military objectives or to function as a political demonstration. The S-550 is here to help. It would appear that Russia is taking advantage of the breach in the ABM Treaty in order to expand its ICBM defense beyond the Moscow area as a result of this development. The updated A-235 Noodle anti-missile defense system is currently being phased in to replace the A-135 anti-missile defense system. This new system has the capability to vastly expand the range of anti-missile defenses over Western Russia and incorporate surface-to-air missiles. It can either act as a supplement to nuclear interceptor missiles or totally replace them. Have you ever pondered the reasons behind Russia's undying desire to acquire the S-550 mobile anti-missile system? The ease of geographical dispersion made possible by the mobility provided by roads is one of the reasons. This might possible fortifications would struggle to defend against such modern weaponry if it were to occur. Another problem that arises from this scenario is the difficulty in determining whether an oncoming missile assault will be nuclear or conventional in nature, and how many advanced missile defense interceptors ought to be spent on fighting conventional strikes when there is a possibility that a nuclear strike is on the horizon. The constantly improving missile defense capabilities of Russia could set off a self-reinforcing feedback loop that would have an effect on the United States missile defenses. For instance, if Russia had a sizable stockpile of anti-ballistic missiles capable of intercepting long-range, intercontinental ballistic missiles. The United States government may find it necessary to increase the number of GMD interceptors in its inventory beyond the existing 60. The fact that China reportedly conducted a test of its ability to intercept a mid-range ballistic missile using an HQ-19 missile in April 2021, despite the fact that it did not have an operational ABM system, adds another facet to this equation. TASS suggests that the S-550 might be put into service as early as the year 2025. Having said that, it is advisable not to firmly commit to this date. After all, there were some delays in the initial deliveries of the S-500, which were originally anticipated to take place in 2016 or 2017. This is it for today's video. Tell us about your thoughts on this in the comments and subscribe to us for more news.